always be the one you wanna call when it's cold outside. I will always be the one that's right here standing by your side. Open up your heart and let me in. I promise not to break you. I promise I'll be all that you want. So let me in my heart before. Let me in. Oh, your love explodes. Our heart implodes. Your love explodes. Our hearts
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Hello. All right. How y'all doing tonight, huh? Or this morning, I guess, or this afternoon, wherever you're from. Just woke up, I guess. So I guess it's morning for me. Woke up. I'm not really sure why my stream quality is so shoddy, but I'll try to fix it. I'm not really sure why. It shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. All the settings I have and hardwiring it. It's not through Wi-Fi. I don't know. I gotta fix some settings here, but looks like my kids. Actually, looks like it's my camera quality, but I'll fix it one other time. But she looks so clear, but whatever. Music's way too loud here. Hang on. Trying to have a happy balance for it. Okay. Alright. Yeah, man, Raw was, a lot of mixed emotions, I guess, you know. And I'm not just saying that because I was there last night. It was a lot of mixed emotions for a lot of reasons. One, because it was on TV a shit show. But when you're there, it's, like, completely different. And I'm not telling you that, you know, the show's better in person, because actually it is, but then again, it's not. I mean, I've been to a million Raws. I've been to a lot of pay-per-views. I've been to a bunch of house shows. I try to stay from house shows now. I think it's kind of out. I think it's more the kids stuff now for the house shows. I did go to one about a year ago. That was I got tickets for free, but I usually go to Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views. But when you're there, it's different, you know. It is different, and it was a good Raw at some points, and it was a bad Raw at some points. Because I was thinking, I was sitting there in the audience, I was like, if I was at home watching TV, I'd be bored. But now I'm there, it's a little different. Professional wrestling's weird. It's like it's not like any sport, you know. You're watching, you know, you're watching a basketball game. I don't know. Pretend you're like watching a basketball, football, baseball game, and you're there, and you're watching at home. You know, that's kind of like the same. You get the same thing with wrestling. You get a little extra when you're live. You see stuff on at live that you don't see on TV. What makes it a little more interesting. So that's where I stand on that. You know, I mean, obviously it wasn't a great show by any means. But you know what? I had fun, and it was a lot of fun there with my friends, my fiance, and I did try live streaming there for a little bit. I did for like maybe 3 minutes. Okay, let's make sure we're good. For like 3 minutes. And I was going to go longer. I was going to try to talk to you guys on the way out, but it was so hectic. And, you know, I was just kind of tired and I was kind of burnt because I was up literally all day yesterday. So I just said, you know what, fuck it, let's do it later. But I did stream a little bit for you guys. If you guys want to look at that, it's my channel here. It's like my second recent upload from yesterday. But anyway, the Raw as a whole, man, I'm gonna look at it as a professional wrestling fan, not as the person who was there last night. I'm gonna try to. But I guess what I'll tell you now is that was the show good? At some points, yes. But there were some low points too, and there was some stuff where even when I was there, I was like, "What the fuck?" Good old Pepsi. So I guess to start from the bottom here. There was a pre-match last night. It was like Tyler Breeze versus EC3. And Tyler Breeze beats EC3, so I'm not sure. That's kind of weird. And then it was Jinder Mahal and the Sin Brothers versus that wasn't no, it was Lucha House Party. That was actually kind of a cool match. But during that match, we saw on our phones that the Shield would be dressed like a farewell speech or something like that. So it was kind of cool. See all three of them for the last time, and it really might have been, honest to God, the last time that we've seen them live, because now reports are coming out saying that last night at Raw was actually Dean Ambrose's last match ever in WWE and even last appearance, which I have a really, really, really hard time believing. I honestly gotta do. But that's what the rumors are at the moment here. So if that is the case and it is real, I'm really happy to say I saw the last time the Shield were together ever in the same ring. Just add on to my list of a lot of things that I've seen. I've seen CM Punk. I saw CM Punk's last appearance at WWE. I saw a couple other people's first and last appearances. I can't remember off the top of my head here. But it was pretty cool to see them live. 3 weeks ago, I was not expecting Roman Reigns to be there, so that was kind of a sweet surprise for me, because unlike everybody else in this IWC world, I don't hate Roman. I've actually always liked him. I do hate how they push him, but I don't hate the character Roman Reigns by any means. But they get in the ring and they talk about, you know, their past, and they said if last night really was the last time ever, they have no regrets. And then they bumped fists and they said that Dean has to go do his stuff, whatever he has to do, and then Roman has to go do his stuff, and then Seth Rollins has the big load, which is trying to defeat Brock Lesnar, and then Roman and Dean leave the ring, and left Seth Rollins in the ring and talks about Brock Lesnar, how he's going to slay the beast in the whole 9 yards. And then you hear, ladies and gentlemen, it's Paul Heyman coming out. And what was interesting about this was that when Paul Heyman came out, there was a whole bunch of security guards behind us. We were on the floor, like 10, 15, probably 12 rows behind the doctor's area with the ring the bell and all that. And behind us was an opening, and there was a lot of security guards around there, and a lot of people like telling people to back off and stand back and all that. And we knew I thought it was, holy shit, Brock Lesnar was gonna surprise attack Seth Rollins, and it would have been really cool to see that. But Paul Heyman rambles on for a little bit and did a package, and actually during the package, everyone started booing the shit out of it because, you know, you're tired of seeing all that shit. But when that was over, we saw security was back there pretty heavily. Told people not to go back there for a moment, and out of nowhere, some guy runs out, and I was like, okay, Shelton Benjamin. And then I was like, oh, it is Shelton Benjamin. And then starts attacking him, and then we all thought it was Brock Lesnar. I mean, I don't know why. It's very, very rare Brock Lesnar shows up somewhere unadvertised. But Brock Lesnar was not there, unfortunately, which is whatever. But Shelton Benjamin, was kind of cool to see him. And everyone's like, who the hell is that guy? Who the hell is that guy? And I'm like, man, am I that old that I know who Shelton Benjamin is? I mean, Shelton Benjamin, man, he's had a hell of a career, and he's definitely not done yet. And I wish he does a little more now. I wish he was kind of like a contender for the U.S. or IC title. Maybe he will be in a couple weeks here. But then during a commercial, but they didn't show you guys is that Seth was calling out I said Orlando Jordan, calling out Shelton Benjamin, and he goes, I want to come in here and fight, like, stop running away. And what was really funny is Paul Heyman was like, I only paid you to attack him, but if you want to go fight him, go ahead. And then they start the match during the break, I believe, and Paul Heyman's on commentary, and the match was actually pretty good, in its own right. Not Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins had a pretty good curb stomp in the match. But what I didn't see is that Paul Heyman was on the phone, and I tweeted out, I'm like, what's Paul Heyman saying on the phone? And shout out to Chris Peeps. He told me, he's like, they're saying that Brock Lesnar will be on next week. I'm like, that fucking figures, but it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. So I guess Brock Lesnar is going to be on next week to talk with Seth Rollins and the whole 9 yards. So they're gonna have a confrontation like Batista and Triple H did tonight, which I will get to. It was a pretty good feud. I don't feel excited for this as I feel like I probably should. But I thought it was a pretty damn good segment. I thought it was a pretty damn good, just a really good overall spot. It was different, I think, because you kind of got surprised. But I'm looking forward to their match at WrestleMania for sure. But the build-up has not been very good. And, I hope in the next 3 weeks after this will be pretty good, because I'm not feeling like I should be excited for this as I should be. And then after that, we had immediately segue into the Intercontinental title match, Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. And what was kind of weird is that Bobby Lashley's face is like he's just staring at Finn Balor. And I thought that was kind of bizarre. Like, no words said, no nothing. I just thought that was kind of weird. I get it, but it's kind of weird for me. The match goes underway. And the match was pretty good for the most part, again. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Bobby Lashley. I never have been. Not because I want to shits on him. I just never was a Bobby Lashley guy. I could never get into him. 10 years ago when I was, a teenager. And even as an adult now. I just still can't get into him. But as you all know, I love Finn Balor. He's like the guy that's kind of filling the void for Undertaker for me a little bit. But I love Finn. But then the bell rings, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And I see some guy in a hoodie, and I'm like, who the hell is that? And it was like, it's Leo Rush. I'm like, oh, fucking figures. Like, I should have known that. I was literally like acting like a dumbass fan. I'm like, oh my god, who is that? And I didn't even put the two together. But it caused a distraction for Finn Balor, and Bobby Lashley does his finisher there, whatever it's called, and then you get a new IC title, or IC champion, and I guess it's Bobby Lashley's second reign as the IC title, and I guess we're just gonna hot potato this fucking belt, which is kind of a damn shame here. I feel like the IC title recently, especially in the last year, has been like the hardcore title, where it where it would hot potato all the damn time here. So, it is what it is. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm sure Finn Balor get another shot at WrestleMania. So, where am I at here? Just taking a yonder here. One second here. Afterwards, we had you see Ronda Rousey on the big Titantron there coming out, and I'll be completely honest with you, I actually went to get a bag of popcorn during this, and I didn't really hear what she said. I'm sure something along the lines of like, Becky Lynch is, this and that. Why did this? Blah blah blah. I'm sure it wasn't really much to say. I'm sure I won't lose any sleep over it. But then someone comes out and starts talking, and I didn't realize who it was at first. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And it's Dana Brooke. She took about a gallon of makeup off, and I didn't recognize it was her. I'm not sure if this is like a new direction towards her, or it is like a metaphor for like her breaking down, because she's so tired of love. She's so tired of not getting anything, deserved to her, and just work her ass off. She gets nowhere with it. So I'm not sure if the no makeup thing is her breaking down type thing. And if that's what we want to do, that's fine with me. I think actually you could probably do something kind of cool with that, like her just like turn batshit crazy and all that. I always think it'd be kind of cool. Maybe not, but she comes out and she says, Ronda, you usually do a open challenge the night at the pay-per-view. Well, my name is Dana Brooke and I accept. And before any type of official, match even started, Ronda just kicks her right in the fucking gut and just beats the holy god out of her. And the fan behind me is like, Ronda, don't forget, this is not supposed to really kill him this time, And Dana Brooke just gets buried again. So I'm not really sure if Dana Brooke is going to go anywhere, or they just say, hey, Dana, you can go out there and just, take a hard beating from Ronda Rousey for about 5 minutes. I don't know. If I was never a huge fan of Dana Brooke anyway, so this doesn't really break my heart. But it was weird. I mean, I get why they did it, but it was just a little weird. But moving on here. Sorry, I'm like multitasking here. Moving on was the Aleister Black and Ricochet versus Bobby Roode and Chad. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. And Aleister Black's entrance live, let me tell you, is fucking badass. That is a good entrance to see live. But then moving on here, there was a pretty good match, and then Ricochet and Aleister Black win, of course. I didn't really pay attention to that match because I'm not a huge tag team guy. I'm sorry. But, I mean, I did watch it, but I can't remember the exact details of the match. But they win, and they're up on the ramp, and out of nowhere comes a Revival to hit them and all of that, and just attack them. And I'm not sure, this might lead to a feud at WrestleMania between the two. Okay, fine, whatever. I think after WrestleMania, the Revival are gone. That's the vibe I get. So if they want to put the Raw Tag Team titles on Aleister Black and Ricochet at WrestleMania and have like this 4-way tag team thing, I'd be okay with that. I'd be actually really happy to see that. But then moving on here, we had the Moment of Bliss and Alexa Bliss, and then of course all the guys around me were fangirling over it. And she came out and she was going to reveal the host of WrestleMania, and I had a gut feeling that it was going to be her, but I thought no way. Said no way. And sorry, I was reading this tweet. During one of the commercial breaks, they had like one of the dance break things, and they kept showing the grandma during this dance break, and Pittsburgh was loving it. They showed her at least 7-8 times, and we all loved it. It was during the break going into Moment of Bliss, so I just saw that. I just laughed. I'm surprised they would even mention that. But anyways, Alexa comes out on stage. She starts talking about the, who's the host of WrestleMania. You've had people like The Rock. You had people like, fucking Snooki and whoever. Not Snooki, the Kardashians or whatever. Something stupid. Be a lot of good hosts, The New Day. And then you have this Hollywood-type video package to reveal who it is. And then I don't know where it says Alexa Bliss. And Alexa's like, I'm so glad to... I'm so honored. I'm so glad. It was a surprise, and just a heelish type attitude. But it's pretty fucking funny. I mean, if they want to make her the host, okay, she's really, really over with the guys. She's it's a guy dominant sport, if you will, fan base, I guess. So if you want to do it that way, and she's over with all the guy fans, and probably some of the girl fans. I mean, if you go that way, okay, I have no problem with that. But it was just funny. I love Alexa Bliss. She's hilarious as a heel. I think she plays a mean, nasty bitch. Moving on here, we had a backstage segment with Braun Strowman. He was interviewing somebody about the SNL cast, and I guess they're going with this fucking route, which makes me fucking pissed off with the whole Braun Strowman SNL cast. But some guy comes over and says, Braun, your car is waiting for you. And he's like, what car? And then we go to commercial break. And then comes out. It's like a Corvette type car. And it was a letter from, I can't remember his name, the guy from SNL that does the nightly updates and all that. And, you know, Braun Strowman gets all pissed off because the letter was basically a condescending saying, you know, see WrestleMania, you know. I can't remember what the letter said, but it was basically just a rib on Braun Strowman. So he gets all pissed off and destroys the car. You know, bashes a hand with the windshield, tears the door off, tears the seat and the hood of the car and just everything. And then the crowd wanted to flip it. And, of course, I never flipped it, but that was it. But he never had a match. He never came out, which is kind of disappointing because I wanted to see how large he was, like, just, like, the same height as him. You know, or same height as him. Like, my height, and I want to see actually how huge he was. I'm only 5'8", 5'9", and I just wanted to see how large he was in person. But we never got to see it live, which I was slightly disappointed with that, but it's whatever. But I really guess they're going to move on with this fucking feud with Braun Strowman versus the fucking SNL weekly update bullshit. I know why they're doing it. They're doing it because, you know, they want the mainstream type publicity, and Braun Strowman's probably the best person to represent that, who's popular with and over the crowd, and he's monstrous. So it'd be a good rep and good, you know, I guess PR for WWE. So, I mean, that's one to go with Braun Strowman, okay, but it's just like the last couple of years of the Braun Strowman WrestleMania, just I've kind of been like, I don't want to say squashes, just not live up to what he should be doing for WrestleMania. I get why they're doing it, trying to get some, you know, publicity, and Braun Strowman's so large, and SNL's a pretty popular show, and I get that, but it's just one of those things, for some reason, where I just, like, roll my eyes at. And it's cool that everybody wants to do this route, but I just roll my eyes every time I see or think of it. Okay, we're still good. So then next we had Black a little bit and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Elias." I didn't even see him come in. That guy snuck right in there with his fucking guitar and everything. But I'm gonna tell you what, the crowd gave him a standing ovation because he's from Pittsburgh. A lot of people don't know, but he's from Pittsburgh. Actually, my buddy who I went to the show with, him and Elias went to the same high school together. I don't think they're at the same time. I don't think, like 10 years apart. But they went to the same high school, and he's really well known, I guess, around the Pittsburgh area. And he's I guess his family is too, I think, or something like that. Maybe I misheard that. Big guy standing ovation. No matter what he said, he got cheered. Even Antonio Brown, there were a lot of cheers. He made Antonio Brown mark, and of course, if you guys pay attention to football, you all know that Pittsburgh Steelers are having a lot of drama lately. So I made a reference towards that. We all knew he would. We all knew he'd see some of the lines of Antonio Brown, and he got a pretty good pop for himself. And I wish he got that everywhere. He does for the most part, but Pittsburgh, it was pretty cool doing his hometown of Pittsburgh. And you know what's funny is that I'm not just saying this because I live near Pittsburgh. I can't remember last time there was a lot of references saying I'm from Pittsburgh, my hometown. It happened 3 times tonight with Corey Graves, with Elias, and with Kurt Angle. I don't know if there's anybody else like on the Raw or SmackDown side where you had multiple people from the same city. I could be completely wrong, but maybe I just noticed that because and someone says Pittsburgh, I'm usually my ears pop, but I just don't know if there's anybody else. I know Dolph Ziggler and The Miz are from Cleveland together. A couple of New Yorkers. I know like Batista's from DC, and so is somebody else. I don't know. I just found that interesting. Thinking about it, I just found that interesting. But then No Way Jose comes out, ruins this segment, and then Elias beats the shit out of him and his posse, and then that was it. So I don't know if it's going to lead to a feud. I mean, kinda. I mean, they've been kind of doing this tease the last couple, actually months at this point now. So I think Elias deserves better than No Way Jose. I mean, sorry. I mean, he does. No one gives a shit about No Way Jose. I don't give a shit about No Way Jose. I don't care about No Way Jose. I don't care about any of these gimmicks like this. I just don't care. I know it's a kid show primarily now, but no one gives a shit about No Way Jose. I don't think the kids even do. The Lucha House Party was way over than No Way Jose. Big time. I'm telling you. It was. So this is going to be a feud at WrestleMania. I mean, oh my fucking God. I just think Elias deserves to be somewhere near the world title contendership. But I guess we're going to lead a feud with No Way Jose versus Elias WrestleMania, which is whatever, I guess, at this point. Fuck it, whatever. He's not going to get, no way he's going to get near the title shot now, but I guess we're just going to leave it at that. Moving on, Lacey Evans comes out, does her fucking bullshit. I'm not sure what the hell her issue is or what the hell she's doing, what the hell. He'll make a weekly thing for the next ever. I gotta hope not. But during it, Nia Jax comes out with Tamina Snuka. And then I thought was going to be Sasha Banks and Bayley. They both weren't out there last night. I didn't realize that. We both didn't see them. I mean, they fought backstage. They never came out. But then we had Natty accompanied by Beth Phoenix, which was kind of cool to see Beth Phoenix. And then it was Natty versus I think it was either Tamina or not. I can't remember, one of the two. But it lasted about 20 seconds before interference came in, and then they started brawling. And then you had backstage, and then it's Nia Jax and Tamina versus Bayley and Sasha, and it's kind of like ending up like it's gonna be like a 4-way for the women's title. It seems like it'd be kind of cool because there's rumors about Trish and Lita wanting to be involved with this, or they're asking him, or they want to, or something. So it'd be kind of cool if it was like Sasha and Bayley versus Tamina and Nia versus Beth Phoenix and Natty versus Trish and Lita. But for the I keep saying Raw Women's title, but for the women's tag team titles, I'd be perfectly fine with that. I think it'd be kind of really fucking cool, to be honest with you. And a lot of people would be like, "Oh, you're not giving anybody else world title shots in the current roster." Well, who the fuck is there else in the world title and as a tag team, Raw and SmackDown both, that actually can compete with Sasha and Bayley? Besides Tamina and Nia Jax, and I guess now Beth Phoenix and Natty, who else as a duo can you honestly believe that could beat Sasha and Bayley? There's nobody else. You can't tell me the Riot Squad are going to do it. No fucking way. There's no way. Mandy and Sonya Deville, possibly. But there's nobody else. There's no other tag teams in the whole company that I believe that could beat Sasha and Bayley. There's just no way. So you want to do this match at WrestleMania? I say go for it. It seems realistic. It'd be a good match to see. I'd rather see that anyways than anybody else on the main roster. So that's how I feel about that. Next we had the Animal, Dave Bautista, arrive in his fucking 3 fucking black cars. I'm not sure why I need all these cars. But then Triple H comes out, and then immediately Dave Bautista comes out, and it was really hard to see where I was sitting up the rampway. You could see the ring, no problem, but up on the rampway, you really couldn't see anybody. Because just everyone was in the way, because you're on the floor. So that's the only downside with seeing the floor is you can't see the ramp very well unless you're the front row. Both security guards come out. I didn't realize it afterwards. And then this segment was pretty infamous, I think. I think this is going to be one of those segments where it's going to be talked about for a while. All because Dave was saying, "Give me what I want. You know what I want. Give me it. Give me what I want." And it was hilarious. That was basically the whole fucking promo. Was just Dave saying, "I've been asking for it for a while. You know what I want? Give me it. Give me what I want. Give me what, Hunter. Come on, Hunter." And Triple H is like, "You want it? You can't have it. You want it." And it was just, it was weird. It was weird. And my buddies and I, and my fiance looked at her like, "Oh, this is, kind of like, oh my God, it's kind of a little out there." But it was basically, give me what I want. Joe Cronin did a parody of it like minutes afterwards, and it was fucking hilarious. But that was it. But this is going to lead into a match WrestleMania. And Batista finally says, "You know what I want? I want you at WrestleMania." And Triple H is like, "You're on." And then basically Triple H is like, "But there's going to be no rules, no restrictions." And I thought, holy fuck, they're going to put it right in a cell. I was going to shit they put in a cell. Because I've seen a lot of matches, but I've never seen a Hell in a Cell match live. And I was like, they're going to put it right in a cell at WrestleMania. And I'd be just fine with that. I think it'd be a cool match. They said no holds barred. I'm like, all right, I can live with that. Which is, I was slightly disappointed when they didn't say, not a Hell in a Cell. But it's whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna cry about it. I might a little bit. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to put in a cell. We had a couple WrestleManias with the Hell in a Cells the last couple years. So I thought maybe keep that theme going, but I guess not. But it's fine. No holds barred. Whatever. Maybe they'll change it up on us. I doubt it. But then moving on here, we had the Kurt Angle segment, which is pretty damn emotional. And some guy behind me is like, "Come on, we haven't had a match in an hour." And clearly that guy didn't know that Kurt Angle was from Pittsburgh, because everyone just knew Kurt was coming out there, and didn't give a shit if he was wrestling or talking. We just want him out there because, you know, Kurt Angle's like a household name in Pittsburgh. So, let's say Kurt Angle's addressed his future on Raw, and we kind of knew something was going to come. Something was coming, you know. You come and address his future in Pittsburgh. I'm like, okay, if something's going to be said, it's going to be legit. If it's going to be in Pittsburgh, and he comes out, and we just gave him a standing ovation. We love Kurt Angle, and I said this. I don't say this very often, but I really don't care. Kurt Angle went to Clarion University for college, which is where I live, and so I had that connection with Kurt. Kurt Angle's from Pittsburgh, which is where I don't live too far from. And Kurt Angle wrestles in WWE, which I've been a fan of. So I've been a huge Kurt Angle fan since I started watching wrestling 20 years ago. So I love Kurt Angle, and this is really kind of an emotional up and down night for me. It's because it's just this solely. He comes out and says that WrestleMania 35 will be his last match, and which is really cool because I will be there for WrestleMania 35 in New York City. And then he's like, "But I'm in my hometown." And we're going to have, you know, my last Raw match in my hometown of Pittsburgh. So if I just saw his last two matches in Pittsburgh WrestleMania, I am fucking honored, and I'm so fucking happy that I'm seeing that. I've saw it, and I've seen it, and I'm going to see it again. Like, I'm so fucking happy. I love Kurt Angle. I wish nothing best for him, you know, as, you know, someone who lives, you know, three fucking blocks from where he trained for the Olympics and in college, and I'm living too far from Pittsburgh either, and being a Pittsburgh fan and being a professional wrestling fan, it's weird. It's a little weird. Kurt Angle's always had a special place in my heart. So him coming out and addressing his future to Raw, and I was there for it. Just kind of really puts a smile on my face because I would have been really upset if I had known he was there and that happened. I missed it, so I'm really glad it happened. And again, the crowd just gave him a standing ovation. I stood the whole fucking time, just clapped and cheered for him and chanted "You suck" towards him because I have nothing but the utmost respect for Kurt Angle in every single possible way, you know, a human can towards another person. But his last match was against Apollo Crews, and you have to think that Kurt Angle probably handpicked this as his last match. You know, he maybe sees his future and potential in Apollo Crews. I do. He's pretty cool. But he had a pretty good match. Kurt Angle beats him with the Angle Slam Cork. He's not gonna lose in his hometown, especially if this is his last match ever in Pittsburgh. So then, you know, they had a hug and all that, and it was all fine and dandy. And Kurt was getting emotional, and I'm not gonna tell you that I wasn't wanting to cry, but it was awesome. You know, as a wrestling fan, you know, you get pretty emotionally caught up in all this wrestling BS. And I know it's all fake, and you know, people who aren't wrestling fans don't get it, but me as a wrestling fan, I get it. So it was a pretty emotional spot for me. And again, Pittsburgh just gave him nothing but love and respect, and he started getting emotional, and I'm so glad I was there for that, and I'm so glad, you know, that he's kind of ending his career on his own terms, if you will. You know, he probably said to Vince, you know, probably months ago, I want to be done. You know, I want to have my last two matches, one in Pittsburgh and then one in WrestleMania, and Vince probably said, okay, no problem. So, that was it. I'm pretty emotionally upset about it, I guess, but in a good way, you know. I love Kurt, and, you know, he's not the same athlete as he was years ago. So, if he's going to retire on his own terms, and this is the way he wants to go, then I'm so happy for him. So, I'm looking forward to seeing his match at WrestleMania. Now, who is it going to be? Well, a lot of people are saying John Cena could become full circle because that was John Cena's first match in WWE, so it should be Kurt Angle's last match in WWE. And I agree 100%. I think it should be John Cena because they want to do something with John Cena at WrestleMania, and I think you should do this match. Kurt Angle versus John Cena, two big names in professional wrestling, you know, and the story behind those two. Hell yeah. Fun fact, John Cena debuted on my 8th birthday and fought Kurt Angle. And I don't think I was in Pittsburgh. That'd be kind of cool. But kind of looking at a little, you know, one of those cool moments with me, connections with professional wrestling. But if it's going to be John Cena, I have no problem with that. I think that'd be really, really cool. I thought of Undertaker for a second. That'd be also cool too, but I think the John Cena one makes a little more sense here. So I love you, Kurt. I mean, I hope nothing best for you, and I can't wait to see you wrestle your last match at WrestleMania with probably most likely John Cena. Maybe not, but regardless, I'm just gonna be happy that I'm there. Moving on to the last part of the show, which is really kind of unexpected. Roman Reigns comes out, is going to fight Baron Corbin, and that match never got underway because he got attacked by Drew McIntyre, and Drew just basically beats him up on the outside of the ring, and then Claymore kicks him into the ring post, and then Roman right now has like a head injury, which is probably to a concussion. So they go backstage and they keep telling him, just going to back, just go to the doctor, go talk to them, and you see Dean get all pissed off and finds Hunter, and he says, I want Drew McIntyre right now. No holds barred, false count anywhere. And Triple H just says, okay, you're on. And then so we had Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre and a false count anywhere, no holds barred match. And that was really fucking cool. I'm not going to lie to you. That was really cool. Even if I was sitting at home, guys, I'll be honest, I'd be actually pretty okay with that. Because when's the last time we fucking seen something like this on Raw? I mean, this is kind of old school Raw here, throwback. I mean, it wasn't obviously to the hype as the old school days, but we haven't seen anything, like this in a while on Raw, not to my knowledge. I can't remember anything that they went in the stands and in the crowd and all that. But they went up the stairwell, up to the Penguins box, up the press box up there, and then they start brawling and they go up to the stands, and then Dean Ambrose puts Drew McIntyre kind of like in the throws him through the concession stand, and then throws him through the t-shirt the stand where they sell the merchandise and all that, and then they kind of proceed back down, and then back around, they ring a little bit, and then the other side. So what was funny was that they came about 15 feet from us. And I'm nearly certain Chris Peeps said he saw us during this, so that was kind of cool. I don't know. I think I'll find it, but I think we were spotted there. But they were pretty close to us, and it was really cool. And seeing Drew McIntyre that close, he's a big boy. Let me tell you, he's a big man. Anyways, they end up near the announcers table, and Dean Ambrose took a really sick fucking bump. Drew McIntyre put him in like the stairwell guardrail there, like where the holes are, and put his head through that, and Claymore kicks him through that, and that was pretty fucking nasty, dude. They looked really, really bad. I guess I mentioned before that Drew McIntyre started putting like a pencil in Dean's eye or something like that. It was just kind of got the old school vibe. It would definitely didn't live up to the hype of like 1999, 2000 hardcore match, but it was still really cool to see. After the Claymore kick, Drew McIntyre pins him 1, 2, 3, and that was it. And then I guess they went off the air when Drew McIntyre Claymore kicked him again. And then people asked what happened. Not much really happened. He just gave another beating, and then that was it, and went off the air. Then Dean kind of walked off in the back. And that was it. That was Raw in a nutshell. I would give this Raw, I'm going to give it a good 6. And even if I was home, I'd give it a good 6. Let me tell you why. Because the promo between Triple H and Batista is pretty good, even though it was the same words over and over again. It was actually pretty good. Probably because of how iconic it's going to be now. And then the Drew McIntyre and Dean Ambrose match was really fucking good. I should do more shit like this. But that was really good. And the Kurt Angle thing with the emotional and all that. I know for a lot of people outside, a lot of people don't really say, okay, I kind of figures. But for me being a Pittsburgh, I don't say native because I don't live in Pittsburgh, but I live close to Pittsburgh, and I've been a Pittsburgh fan. And the whole Clarion, Pennsylvania connection there, that was pretty emotional for me. So that gives me another bump for the show. I know it's not for everybody, but just for me, it gives it a little bump. And then I think that's really significant to really have on the show. So I give it a 6. It's not a great rating, but it's a good rating for me lately. Because last couple weeks I gave Raw like a 4 or 3. Maybe it's 7's like hanging in there, but this one was a good 6. So it was a good show. I had fun there. I always have fun there, and the floor seats were awesome. So I think my buddy Garrett hooked me up with that. So that was it. That was Raw in a nutshell for me. Again, it was a really good show. I had fun. It was a hell of a time. So that's really it. That's how I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. We're on the road to WrestleMania. As soon as it doesn't feel like it, because the Raw and SmackDowns haven't been that great. You kind of forget we're on the road to WrestleMania. But it's gonna be fun. I can't wait for WrestleMania. I can't wait for the whole weekend. So it's gonna be a fun time regardless. So just hope the build's a little better. I'm gonna get out of here. Been up here rambling for a little bit. I'm gonna wait for tomorrow for SmackDown review, and then that's probably gonna be it for me for the rest of the week. And then I'll be up next Monday for Raw. So I will catch you guys later. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging out.